Hi guys, welcome to Year 10 Maths again, graphing. So we're doing the next exercise, which is length and midpoint of a line segment, exercise 1H. So if you just have a quick look at that and copy the first bit down. Alright, so and the rest I'm going to do examples and you can copy it down once I've done the examples and explained it. So this exercise is actually quite easy, one of the easier exercises. So to find the length, a line segment, by the way, is a section of line. So for instance, it starts there and stops there. It does not go on forever. The graphs that we've been doing so far, they've got little arrows on either end, they go forever. A line segment is just part of a line. Alright, so to find the length of a line segment, you can do it in two ways. You can use Pythagoras' theorem, which you probably remember from Year 9, or you can use a formula. And this is a formula, everyone. It says d is a distance, is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Now it looks complicated, but this is actually Pythagoras' theorem. It's the exact same thing. The x values are the difference in the x values are the difference in the 2 points, the x values. So it's x2 minus x1. And this here is a difference in the y values, which is the rise. If you remember that, the rise and the run. So I'll do some examples and explain it. So find the exact distance between 0, 2 and 1, 7. So if you just got the two numbers, you can either substitute them straight into this formula, or you can do a little sketch. In this case, I'm going to do a little sketch. So there's my 0, 2 is there, and 1, 7 is there, 1, 7 is there. Alright, there's my 2 points, and I'll connect them up with a line. So I'm going to use Pythagoras' theorem. So I need my triangle, my right angle triangle. 0 to 1 is 1, and this one goes from 2 to 7, which is 5. Everyone got that? So I've drawn a little triangle, just like we do with a gradient. This time we're working out this side length. We'll call that x if you like. I'll redraw my triangle here if you like, so it's nice and big for you. There's x, it's a right angle triangle, that's 1 and that's 5. So this is exactly from Year 9. So let's do it. So we've got x squared equals 5 squared plus 1 squared. X squared equals 25 plus 1. X squared equals 26. So x equals the square root of 26. Now that is an exact answer. If it says round it to 2 decimal places, then you'd use your calculator. But so far we haven't needed to use a calculator at all for this. And there's your answer. You can do the exact same method with this, which I'm going to do in a minute. So let's move to the next question up here. Find the exact distance. Well, sorry, the question actually did say find the exact distance, so we leave it as root 26 for the last one. Find the exact distance between minus 3/8 and 4 minus 1. So I'm going to do both methods here. Alright, let's do Pythagoras' theorem first. So I'm going to do a quick little sketch, and negative 3, 8 is up there. I'm just going to mark in negative 3 and 8, and 4 minus 1 is there. So there's my line segment. Whoops, class is over, off you go. Joking. Alright, so we have to put in our right angle triangle. So this time, just be a bit careful, the x value goes from minus 3 to 4. So minus 3 to 4, that distance is 7. And this one here goes from minus 1 to 8. So that's minus 1 to 8 is 9. So there we've got a triangle. I'll redraw it for you if you like. Here's our right angle triangle. The rise is 9, the run is 7, and we're trying to find the length there, which is x. So we use Pythagoras' theorem just like normal. I'll do it here. X squared equals 9 squared plus 7 squared. X squared equals 9 9s are 81, 7 7s are 49. Hopefully you know your times tables. X squared equals 120, that's 130, according to my calculations. Is that what you guys got? Great. And x equals square root both sides, square root 130. There's your answer, guys. Didn't take long, I did a quick sketch. I prefer this method because then you can draw your little triangle in. That's the first method. You can copy that down if you want now, pause it, and then, great. let's do the next method. So here's our distance formula. I'm going to write the formula out. Distance equals square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Great. Now the first thing you need to do is label the points. We've got minus 3, 8, and we've got 4, minus 1. Label the points. This one can be point 1, so we'll call that x1, and that can be y1. This one can be x2, this one can be y2. Okay, so all we do is substitute those 4 points into this equation and solve for D. This is a bit more complicated, I think, but anyway, you can do whichever method suits you. So, x2 is 4, minus x1, which is minus 3. Be careful of the two negatives, you've got to be careful. Just write exactly what it is. y2 is negative 1, minus y1, which is 8. That's all squared. So, see this negative number stuff? It's from year 8. You've got to remember how to do all that. Okay, 2 minuses there make a plus. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So we've got a 7 squared. I'll put that in brackets. Plus minus 1 minus another 8 is minus 9. So we've got minus 9 squared. And minus 9 squared, by the way, I will do it on the next line. So we've got 7 squared is 49, plus minus 9 squared means minus 9 times minus 9, which is plus 81. It's a positive answer. So you've got to be careful with that. And if you just have a quick look up here, 49 plus 81 is exactly the same as this working out up here. So, except this has a square root already in the equation. So 49 plus 81 is 130, and there's our answer in exact form. Good job, guys. Copy that down. Great. Great to see you working so hard. Alright, now, that's the first bit. There's only 2 concepts in this exercise. The length of a line segment, we just did. You can do either method. It's not going to make you do a certain method on a test. Pick the way you like it and do it that way if you want. Next bit is the midpoint. Have a quick look at that. Copy it down. Alright, glad you could do that so quickly. So the midpoint of a line segment is really easy. All you have to do is take an average of the 2 x values and then take an average of the 2 y values, and they're your midpoint values. So what do I mean? The x and y value of the midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, because that's how you take an average, plus y1 plus and the next bit is y1 plus y2 over 2. Take an average of the 2 y values. You're probably saying, what do you want about? I'll show you, it's really easy. Find the midpoint of these 2 values. First step, label these points. x1, y1, x2, y2. So I've labelled my points. So, to find the x midpoint, we're doing one at a time. The x midpoint can be found by taking an average of those 2 values. So we've got minus 3 and we've got 2. Minus 3 plus 2, and you divide it by 2 to take an average. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1 over 2, and that's the same as minus a half. You just put the minus at the front. You can't go. Okay, so that's the x midpoint value. Now, the y midpoint value is exactly the same. Take an average of the 2 y values. So we've got minus 5 plus 8, and you take an average of that, so you make it over 2. Minus 5 plus 8 is 3, 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is 1.5. I'm just going to leave it as an improper fraction. We're finished. So everyone got that? To find the midpoint, you take an average of the 2 x values, that's the x midpoint value. Average of the 2 y values, that's the y midpoint value. And then you write it as a coordinate. So my x value is minus a half. My y value is 3 over 2, or 1.5. And I'll write here my midpoint. And that's it. Are there any questions? Great, you can't ask questions because it's a video. Alright, we're just going to walk over here, over the other side of the classroom. Just keep it. Glad to have you back, guys. So, those other 2 were actually easy questions. So the length and the midpoint, they're easy. The hard one is a problem-solving question All you really have to do is substitute in and work backwards to find an answer, but I'll go through it here anyway. So the question is, find the values of A, and notice it says values, plural. I'll get to that in a second, so there's more than one answer. Of A, if the distance between these 2 points, so the first point is 2, A, and the second point is 4, 9, but they're giving you the distance is root 5. So what we're missing is the y-coordinate of this point here, 2 something, it might be 2, 7, or it might be 2, 5. We need to know what that value is there of A. But we've got all the other bits of information. So all we have to do is use the formula, substitute values in, and then solve for the unknown value of A. Got it all there written for you. So have a look at that. Okay, now the thing to remember before we start this problem, square root of 100 is not 10, that's one of the answers, it's actually plus or minus 10. I've got the reasons here. Plus 10 squared is 100, as we know, and also minus 10 squared is minus 10 times minus 10, 2 minuses make a plus, is plus 100. So there are 2 answers. So square root of 100 is plus or minus 10. Plus 10 or minus 10. So, if they ask you from now on, what's the square root of 9? You say it's plus or minus 3. Square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. In year 7 and 8, they teach you that square root of 100 is 10, but now that you're in year 10, you need to know that it's plus or minus, there's 2 answers. So let's do this question here. So, we've got our formula written out there, and all the information is back over here. So the first thing we do is label the points. I'll do it all on one page for you. So I'll do it here. 2, A is 1 point, 4, 9 is the other point, and my distance is root 5. Alright, so we label the points. I'll do it in another colour. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So the steps are label your points and then substitute them into this formula. So let's do that right now. D is root 5. Okay, square root. x2 is 4 minus x1, which is 2, that's all squared, plus y2, what's y2? It's 9, minus y1, which is A, that's all squared. And if you have a look at our formula now, our equation, we've got everything there except for the unknown, which is A. So now we can solve it. So, root 5 equals 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So I'm just going to jump right to the answer there. This whole bit here is 4. I'll say it again, 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4, plus 9 minus A squared. Alrighty, the next step is we need to find the value of A. We need to get rid of this square root sign. So what we need to do is square it. So we square both sides. So this square root disappears. So we've got 5 equals, because we're squaring both sides, so the square roots disappeared. 5 equals 4 plus 9 minus A squared. Okay, next step, we need to get rid of this plus 4. So how do you get rid of plus 4? You minus 4 to both sides. So there's my workings out. 5 minus 4 is 1. They cancel, and I'm just left with 9 minus A, all squared. Let that sink in for a second. Now, we need to get rid of this squared. How do you get rid of squared? What's the opposite of that? It's square root. We need to square root both sides. So, on this side, we've got square root 1. On this side, we've got 9 minus A. Now, what is the square root of 1? Square root of 1, you're probably going to say 1. But from our last little lesson, hopefully you remember there are 2 answers. It's plus or minus 1. This is a bit of a trick in it. So the answer to that is plus or minus 1. And over here we've got 9 minus A. So now we're going to have 2 different answers. So next step, we need to minus 9 from both sides. So if you want, you can do it separately over here. Let's just start over here. We'll do it with positive 1 first. Equals 9 minus A. And our second one is minus 1 equals 9 minus A. So we're going to have 2 different answers. Does that make sense, everyone? I use both answers from here, and I'm going to work them out separately. So take away 9 from both sides. 1 minus 9 is minus 8 equals minus a. And then times both sides by minus 1. So you just really get rid of the negatives and you get a equals positive 8. And you see that? Both minuses cancel and they become positive. So the first answer is a equals 8. Now if we go to our second solution, we've got minus 1 equals 9 minus a. Minus 9 to both sides. Minus 1 minus 9 is minus 10 equals negative a. And do the same thing. They both become positive and you get a equals 10. So the two solutions are a equals 8 and a equals 10. That's how you do that problem. Yes, it's a bit of a trickier one. It involves a lot of solving equations and you must remember how to do square root of a number and you get a positive and negative number. But if you can follow that, have a go yourself. That's the hardest type of question you'll get in this exercise. So once you've done all that, here's our exercise 1H, page 54, and you can read it for yourself there. Great job guys, I'll see you for the next exercise. Bye for now.